Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the ACT Government Suburban Land Agency Taylor Ballot Information Session. I'm Josie, and I'm the Senior Director of Marketing at the Suburban Land Agency, and I'm also going to be your moderator for this evening's session. All right, today I'm joined by a panel of experts. These experts range from sales experts to experts about the Taylor neighborhood. I'll let my team of experts introduce themselves. Kathy, over to you.
Hi, Josie. I'm Kathy, the Director of Sales and Client Relations.
Hi, Josie. I'm Cassandra from Independent Property Group. I'm the sales agent for Suburban Land Agency on Taylor.
Thank you.
Hi, and I'm David. I'm the Director of the development side of Taylor, so we do the building.
Thank you, Dave. But before I get started, what I'd like to show you is how to ask questions, because there will be a live Q&A segment today. If you look at the player on your screen, you'll notice that on the top of the player, there's a blue button with a hand symbol on it. All you have to do is click on the symbol, click on the button, type in your comments or questions, and we'll be able to see them, and we'll answer them shortly. All right, so I think we should get started, shouldn't we, Dave? We'd like to tell you a little bit more about Taylor as a neighborhood and all it has to offer. Great. We'll go on and show you a little pre-recording that we've made about this suburb, but also about more information about the ballot process.
Hi, I'm Chantel from the Suburban Land Agency's marketing team. We're excited to talk to you about the Suburban Land Agency, what we do, and to provide an overview of the Taylor estate, including key features about your new neighbourhood. And finally, we will talk about the blocks available in this release, as well as the how to buy process. Now a little bit about us, the Suburban Land Agency. We're the agency that designs, develops and sells land on behalf of the ACT Government. We help build new communities in Canberra such as Taylor, with the aim to balance social, economic and environmental benefits for all Canberrans. We're responsible for delivering neighbourhoods that are sustainable, inclusive and diverse. We have a range of skills in our team, from planning, engineering to project management, sales and marketing. I'm proud to be a part of this organisation and being able to play a key role in the future development of Canberra. At the Suburban Land Agency, we are not just about the design and construction of estates, but also about creating great places where communities thrive.
So let's talk about Taylor's location. Most of you are likely to be familiar with where Taylor is located in the Gungahlin region. The SLA started developing the suburb in 2016, and it has been developed in 3 stages. We are currently developing the final stage, and the majority of the blocks in this land release will be located here. The Taylor community is already established, and you can access all that the suburb has to offer. You can also take a drive through the suburb today, and you'll be able to see the new homes, parks, schools, and paths we are continuing to create. Taylor is located just off Horse Park Drive, which is the main road connecting Gungahlin to the Federal Highway and wider Canberra. The suburb of Moncrief is located across Horse Park Drive. Casey to the west and Jacka is to the east. Taylor is very well connected at just 4 kilometers from the Gungahlin Town Centre. It also has great immediate access to local features and amenities, which appeals to the range of people who are moving here. The Taylor community has great access to a variety of facilities and amenities. Children already attend the Margaret Henry Primary School, and a future government high school is also planned and is expected to open in 2024. Taylor has an abundance of local parks and green space for you to enjoy, and playgrounds which are suitable for children of all ages. You can see that Taylor backs onto an expansive natural reserve with One Tree Hill located towards the top. While you can't walk up the hill from Taylor at the moment, we have plans to connect to One Tree Hill in the future, and we are already working closely with Parks and Conservation Services. The path network throughout the suburb not only enables you to walk or cycle easily, they also provide great access to nearby suburbs too. Active living is well supported throughout Taylor, and this will continue with the creation of additional district playing fields and a sports pavilion, which is also planned for the area. These will be centrally located close to the Margaret Henry School. If you walk through the suburb, you will also notice a variety of small creeks and ponds. They have been designed to support the flow of rainwater throughout the suburb and help to maintain the natural environment for wildlife, including the birds who are attracted to the area. The shopping precinct and light rail in the Gungahlin Town Center are just 4 kilometers away. The Taylor community also currently has 2 regular bus routes to get you to the town center into wider Canberra. Taylor is close to a variety of nearby shopping centers with access to supermarkets and other retail shops. This includes KC Market Town, Amaru Group Center, and the future Moncrief Group Center, which is proposed for release later this year. A small retail area is also planned for Taylor, and the site will also be released this year. If you take a drive through Taylor to view some of the blocks available in this ballot, you will see that the location in Taylor offers some amazing views. As part of these views, you will also find some more sloping blocks. Building on these sloping blocks gives you the opportunity to design a home with great views and an interesting and innovative floor plan. We encourage you to consider a split-level build to match your home to the slope of the land. This will help you get the most out of your block. We also encourage you to minimize cut and fill to reduce the need to create retaining walls. Now, I know that's a bit of information to take in, but rest assured, all this information is available in your Housing Development Guide and Sales Pack.
The SLA's award-winning Mingle Community Development Program is well established in Taylor. Mingle is a community development program designed to build vibrant and sustainable communities within new estates in the ACT. Mingle works to identify community needs and interests, and with the help of residents, facilitates targeted events, activities, and social interest groups. All activities aim to encourage new residents to get to know each other, to feel part of their community, and to become involved in community life. Facilitated by the SLA, the program aims to implement community activities which are ultimately owned and championed by local residents. The beneficial part of having an established Mingle program in Taylor means that the new community who will purchase in this Taylor ballot can start meeting their neighbours soon.
Hi, I'm Kathy from the Sales and Client Relations team. Taylor is an exciting established community you can become a part of through the Taylor ballot. The recent demand and sales rates have been extremely high, with buyers drawn to the location of the estate. For this release, the SLA is working closely with Independent, our appointed selling agent. This will be one of the final opportunities to purchase a residential block in Taylor. Here are some key facts about this release. There'll be 162 blocks to be released. The blocks ranges in size from 405 square metres to 1,032 square metres. The prices for the blocks start from $355,000. An important point to note for the Taylor ballot is that some blocks are land ready and others are not land ready. Simply put, land ready blocks allow you to settle straight away, whereas if you purchase a block which is not land ready, the SLA needs additional time to complete construction work on the block. We will notify you when we are almost complete. A settlement on your block will follow shortly afterwards. Take a look at the block list on the SLA website, which gives you details about which blocks are land ready and which are not land ready. Buyers are also allowed to select one block at their block selection appointment. From today, you can start to get prepared to make sure you are confident and ready to purchase. We encourage all buyers to read through the Guide for Buying Land from the Suburban Land Agency, as this document will guide you through the purchasing process. In addition to this, we strongly encourage all registrants to commence discussions with their banks, solicitors, and other advisors. To ensure that you are in a position to purchase a block by the start of June, which is when the block selection event will take place. If you purchase a block at your block selection appointment, you'll be required to sign the sale contract and pay your exchange deposit of 5% of the purchase price on the day. Each block will then settle in time range stated. At settlement, you'll be required to pay the remaining 95% of the purchase price. Thursday, the 15th of April, is an important day to mark in your calendar if you're interested in participating in this ballot. You'll be able to access the block list and complete sales pack. This will include the sales contract, the Housing Development Guide, the Crown Lease, the sale conditions, key dates, requirements, block selection checklist and appointment of agent form. All of this information will be available on the SLA Taylor website. The registration period will open at 12:30 p.m. on Thursday the 15th of April and will close at 12:30 p.m. on Thursday the 22nd of April. You will be emailed a link to access the online registration form, and this link can also be accessed by visiting the SLA Taylor website. When completing the registration form, please keep in mind that the name that is listed on your form must be the name on the sale contract for the purchase. Names cannot be substituted, so please take care to ensure the name used for registration is the correct name to go on the sale contract. It is also important to note that the SLA will be completing duplicate checking of the registrants to ensure that multiple registrants are not completed. A randomised draw will be held next, and this process will be witnessed by ACT Gambling and Racing. You'll be notified of your place in the draw on Thursday the 20th of May by the 27th of May. You will need to confirm your continued interest to participate in this ballot. And to be clear, it does not matter how quickly you register to participate in the ballot. By randomising all registrants, this means that everyone will have equal opportunity at being allocated an appointment to then purchase a block. There will be 400 appointments booked for the 162 blocks, and on June the 1st, successful registrants will then be advised of the appointment day and time. Block selection appointments will commence on Saturday the 5th of June and will run up to 4 days. If you are unable to attend your appointment, you can send an agent in your place. However, there will need to be a completed appointment of agent form to select a block. After selecting your block at your appointment, you will need to pay 5% deposit immediately and must sign the sales contract. All the information and dates discussed are listed on the key dates and requirements form, which is included in the sales pack and can be downloaded from the SLA website.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us here at the Taylor Ballot Information Session. We hope you enjoyed that little pre-recorded video and it gave you a little bit more information about the upcoming ballot and the blocks available. Just as a way of reintroducing myself in case you didn't join us at 6 o'clock. My name is Josie and I'm the Senior Director of Marketing at the Suburban Land Agency, and I'm your moderator for tonight. And I'm joined here by a panel of experts. Maybe I'll get my panel of experts to introduce themselves because we'll essentially head into Q&As very shortly.
Okay, hi, I'm Kathy from the Suburban Land Agency, the Director of Client and Sales Relations.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Cumberland. I'm from Independent Property Group and I'm the sales agent on behalf of Suburban Land Agency.
Hi, and I'm David. I'm the Development Manager for Taylor, so we're responsible for the delivery of the construction side.
Thank you, Dave. And if you want to learn how to ask a question, there's a little symbol at the top of your screen. It's a little blue icon. It has a hand symbol on it. Click on it and you can type in your questions and we'll receive them and we'll answer them right now, basically. I think what we'll do now is we'll get on to the first question. All right. The first question is going to be for Cass. One of our viewers is asking, are there any government incentives available?
What a great question, Josie. So currently at the moment, there's the owner-occupier duty concession. That is in play until the 30th of June. So if people are purchasing at the ballot and they meet all of the criteria, they should be able to qualify for that. I would suggest they either contact us and we can provide them further information on that, or they jump onto Revenue's website to find out more information.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Dave, this is a question for you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the nearby schools?
Absolutely. There's already a current primary school, the Margaret Henry Primary School, that opened approximately 2 years ago. So that's open right now for not only the residents of Taylor but the nearby area. Education are currently in the process of developing the high school, which will be adjacent to the primary school. That's expected to be open in 2024. There's already the existing Gungahlin College, which is just at the Gungahlin shops, less than 4 kilometres away. And there's a number of other primary schools and high schools around the Gungahlin area, such as at Amaroo. So there's plenty of schools around there.
Fantastic. And I think customers with families would be really interested to hear more about some of the playgrounds.
Oh, look, absolutely. Within Taylor, we've got 4 sort of formal playgrounds, obviously things with swings and slides, etc., and exercise equipment. There's also a number of sort of informal play areas up on the ridges where there's natural paths, etc., play areas. We're currently constructing a nature play area, which is lots of logs and rocks and stuff to play and climb over, etc. So anyone with kids, there's going to be an abundance of areas to play. And there's also the quite large Moncrief Crib, which is across the road, which is probably one of Canberra's largest playgrounds at the moment. There's lots of activities there as well.
Great, that sounds really exciting. Kathy, one
Yes.
for you. A customer's asking, where can I get a block list?
Yes, so we've got the block lists will come out on our website tomorrow. So you can find them on our website, Suburban Land Agency.
But of course, if you register for our Taylor, if you're part of our Taylor mailing list, you'll also get an email.
Very true. So we recommend that you register on our Taylor mailing list, and we'll send you out an email with all the updates.
Great. Thank you so much, Kathy. All right. One more question. Which stage will be released? Question for the panel.
So the current release, majority of the blocks in what we're calling Taylor Stage 3. So Taylor's been developed in a number of stages. Taylor 1's where most of the houses are at the moment. Taylor 3 is up towards the top of the hill, up towards One Tree Hill. Then there's a couple of blocks in Taylor 1, which is just sort of remnant blocks, which we're also releasing. But the vast majority in this release are in Taylor 3.
Great, fantastic. And of course, this all will be detailed in a brochure that we'll have on our website tomorrow. And you can find out more information or speak to our sales agent, Cass, independent. All right, question around the registration for the ballot. What happens if I make a mistake on my registration form? How do I make a change?
So if you make a mistake, the best advice I could give you is to contact the Suburban Land Agency, but it'd have to be prior to the ballot. And we will discuss with you what we can do, because you won't be able to re-register straight away. So that's probably the best advice I could give you. So contact Suburban Land Agency and we'll help you through that.
Great, thank you so much. Question from Adam. Adam's asking if there's an ETA, so time for delivery, on a link to One Tree Hill. I believe that's a question for Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's already the existing Centennial Trail, which runs around the top of Gungahlin, and there's a link from that up to the top of One Tree Hill. That passes very close to Taylor. We're currently working with Parks and Conservation Services about developing that trail. We expect that will probably be constructed within the next sort of 12 to 18 months.
That'll be really exciting to see, I think. Well, another question, and this one is for Cass. A viewer at home is wondering, do I need to have a solicitor for this land sale?
So you don't need to have a solicitor. So if you choose not to, you don't have to. But if you've never purchased land before, or even if you have, I would recommend getting a solicitor, because if you need legal advice on anything, you'll need to go to them.
Can potential customers use the Suburban Land Agency solicitor?
So unfortunately not. So the Suburban Land Agency solicitor, they're contracted to the Suburban Land Agency, and that would be conflicting advice if you were to go to them. So once again, we would recommend that you go out and speak to your own solicitor or seek legal advice prior.
Thank you for that. And what happens if a customer doesn't have their finances organized in time for settlement? What kind of recommendations would you make?
I think the biggest thing is, prior to entering the ballot, going out and speaking to a financial person to see your position that you're in. If you get to a point where we're coming up to settlement and you can't get your finances in order, then I would suggest that you seek legal advice on that from your solicitor.
Great, fantastic. Dave, a question about the Housing Development Guide. What detailed contours will be provided to us, as well as what's going to be provided in the sales pack?
Okay, so on the block details plan, there's also a document there which is provides the site contours. That's what's called the block details plan. It does show contours to a relatively high level, but what we do is encourage people to actually go out and have a look at the block to familiarise themselves with it, because it can sometimes, if you're not used to reading plans, it can sometimes be a little bit hard to work out which way the fall's going, etc. Parts of Taylor are steep, which is one of the beautiful things about Taylor. There's a variety of blocks. So yeah, we encourage you to have a look at that. Other details on the Housing Development Guide and the block detail plans will show you where your boundaries are. If you've got a corner block, for instance, you'll have a primary front boundary and a secondary front boundary. So that tells you where you can and can't build. It also will show you if there's an easement or something like that available. So what we encourage you to do is get that information and go talk to a builder, for instance, you're looking at, and they'll be able to guide you on what you can and can't build on that block.
Great. And I believe the Suburban Land Agency Buyer's Guide also gives a little bit more information around what's in the Housing Development Guide and how important it is to read and do your research before you buy.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's available again on our website in our information in our Buyer's Guide as well. So I strongly encourage people to download that and have a good read.
Great. Thank you. Question, Mia asks a question, are there any benefits for first home buyers?
So at the moment, the biggest thing you would be looking is the owner-occupier duty concession. So what that means is if you are a person that's buying the block to build a house and live in it, and you live in it for 12 months, then you would most likely save on your stamp duty there. But once again, I suggest that you either give us a call, the agents, so myself or Cheryl, or jump on Revenue and find out information there.
Great. I've got a couple more questions for you, actually, and this is a follow-up to the questions on Solicitor. We have Nabina asking, do we require solicitors for the registration tomorrow?
No, so you don't require a solicitor to register, but I would suggest that you seek legal advice before getting to your block appointment day and before signing a contract.
Yeah, and all of the key dates and requirements are going to be in your sales pack, so it'd be easy for people to refer to it.
Yeah.
What about the ballot being open for builders as well as companies?
Okay, so the ballot is open for builders, companies, individuals. The market is there's a lot of people looking for land, so I know that probably a number of builders are probably looking as well, but you know, it's a ballot, so it's a great thing is it gives everyone an opportunity.
Yeah, great. And is there an age criteria to enter in the ballot process?
Yes, you have to be 18 and above to enter, so yes, that's our age limit for entering the ballot.
Thank you. All right, I'm just going to have a quick look to see if there's any additional questions. James is asking, will the link to the information pack from this webinar be emailed to us? Yes, so this recording will be emailed to you next week, but tomorrow, all customers who have subscribed to our Taylor mailing list will get an email to our website, to the page, which essentially has the sales pack, information on the block list, but you will get a recording of this video if you actually need to step out and run off from the screen right now. All right, Dave, a question for you. If we miss out this time, will there be another round, or is this the last opportunity to buy in Taylor?
It's coming close towards the last blocks. We've got some more blocks which are currently being constructed at the moment. That's in Taylor 3, Stage 3. We expect those to be released next year, depending on the time we deliver. So, however, yeah, we are coming close to running out. So this isn't your last opportunity to buy in Taylor, but it's coming close.
Great, thank you. And one for Kaz, you mentioned a government incentive earlier. Would you mind just repeating it for our viewers at home and maybe telling them where they can find more information about the incentive?
Yeah, so it's the owner-occupier duty concession. So that is around stamp duty. So people need to enter into a contract by the end of June this year, so 2021. What that allows is people not having to pay stamp duty on purchasing single residential blocks, but there are criteria around that. So you just need to jump onto Revenue Office and you can find more information or give Cheryl and myself a call from tomorrow and we can run you through it.
Great, thank you so much. All right. might be a little bit of a tricky one, but we'll see how we go. The vendor's asking, can they and their son apply at the same time?
Okay, so you can apply with your son, yes, at the same time, provided that they're going to be the same, you and your son will be the same people on the contract when you come to the block selection appointment, and that can't be changed. So you can actually remove, but you can't add. I think that's what, yeah. So you can remove applicants, but you can't add. So it'll have to be the same.
Yeah, so if you're registering, so if it's a mum and a son registering or a father and a son registering, so they would need to register together as they will be the names going on the contract.
That's right. Yeah. Or you could alternatively just register separately. So if your son's over 18 years of age, the son could register separately and the mother could register separately.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. And let's just remind the viewers at home, what are the block sizes available in this release?
So we've got quite a large range of blocks. The smallest block in this release is 405 square metres. The largest block is 1,032. So that's actually quite a large block in today's standard. Majority of the blocks are sitting between that 500 and 700 square metre range.
Yeah, that's lots of space for a garden, a little play area for your kids.
Good sizes.
Yes. All right. Now Sonia's asking, can we authorize a third party to attend our appointment? I'm guessing she might not be available, maybe taking a little holiday, just in Australia for now, of course.
So we do have an appointment of agent form, which is available on the website. So if you can't make it, whether you're sick or whether there, whatever reason it is, you can fill out the form, but you have to make sure that they have ID, so photo ID from whoever's going to take their place, and the registrant will need to come. So just have a look at the website, appointment of agent form, and it'll give you all the details.
Yeah. And they can give us a call at the Suburban Agency if any questions, and we'll be really helpful and able to
walk you through that.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy to do that.
Fantastic. All right, another possibly tricky one. This is very much scenario based. A customer is asking if they put their name in the ballot and they basically get selected.
Yep.
Can they then buy for the company that they're a director of?
Okay, so whatever you register when you're doing your registration, so if you're registering as an individual, that is the name that will end up on the contract. So you won't be able to then turn around and change it to a company name. So if you're looking to purchase it under a company, you need to make sure you register as that company.
That's very clear. Thank you, Cass. Question around land rent. Rachel's asking if there are any blocks available for land rent. Maybe one for Dave.
Not in this release, no. We've previously had a land rent release. All the blocks were taken up on that. So unfortunately for Taylor, there's no more in this release.
Yeah, but we still recommend anyone interested to subscribe to our mailing list. When we have more information available or an upcoming release, we'll be definitely sure to update you. Thank you. All right. Anna's asking if pensioners will be required to pay stamp duty, and if that's the case as well after 30th of June.
Ooh. After the 30th of June, I can't answer that because that tends to be when a lot of the things change on revenue. But if you're, like I said, if you're an owner-occupier, so it doesn't matter whether you're a pensioner, whether you're a first home buyer or whether you're a second homeowner, if you're living in that property for 12 months from when construction is completed and you meet all the criteria on revenue, then you shouldn't be paying stamp duty.
Great. It really means there's really never a better time to buy than now.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How soon after settlement are we required to start building?
Ooh, I love this question.
Yeah.
So in the ACT, you need to start construction within 12 months of settlement, but you also need to complete construction within 24 months of your settlement date.
Great. That's very clear as well. And we have Sophia asking, when do you have to pay? And I'm thinking what Sophia's meaning is, what she's asking about is what do you do when you exchange and what do you do when you settle? Would you like to talk the customer through the process a little bit?
Yeah, so when you're entering into a contract, and for these ones, when you select a block on the block selection day, you'd be required to pay a 5% deposit. So that's 5% of the purchase price. And then the 95% that is remaining will be due at settlement time.
Great, fantastic. One more from Matt. Can names be added to the contract at a later stage?
Unfortunately not. So whatever you enter in as a registration, that's how you'll need to complete your contract.
Thank you. This is probably one for Dave. How do I know whether the land is on a level or is it in a sloping area?
Look, probably the easiest thing to do is actually go out and have a drive around Taylor. So the area where the blocks are for sale, the roads are all being completed, they're open, you can drive around there. It's just a public road now, so that's probably the best way because you get an actual feel for it. If you don't live in Canberra or you are unable to get up to Taylor, have a look at the block details plan. It will show you the contours. For those who are unfamiliar with looking at contours, the closer the lines are and the more lines you see, the steeper the block is.
Great, and of course they can speak to a builder or an architect if they need more information on that, because they're really the experts in building and construction here.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us more whether this release will contain land-ready or land-not-ready blocks?
So there's approximately a quarter of the release is already land-ready. So what we mean by that is you can pretty much settle, well, we can go through the settlement period straight away. The non-land-ready blocks, we're still just getting some final certificates which allow us to sell the blocks. We're expecting that the settlement period for those will be sometime around May to October. So what we're expecting is by the time we actually get to the ballot, almost all the blocks will be land ready.
Yeah, fantastic. And Vin, at home, I hope this answers your question. So you can drive by and check out the location and enjoy the great views while you're at it. All right, I'm just gonna quickly look and see if there's any additional questions. All right, how many more stages of Taylor are going to be released in the future, Dave?
So we're currently still building Taylor stage 3. That will be the last stage that's being built. So this is the second last stage that's being built, and Taylor stage 3 will be the last stage. Unfortunately, we can't access that at the moment because it's a construction site.
Yeah.
But no, you'll see a fence, so please don't drive through the fence. We don't want you to get hurt by the construction material. That will be released in the next financial year.
Yeah, so this will really be one of the last few releases for Taylor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. We have KK asking, can builders and individuals register together?
It's a good question. So if you're a builder and an individual and you're purchasing the block together, then you could register together. But once again, you'll need to complete on that. So it would come down to your financial situation, and seeking legal advice, I would suggest, is the best option. But give us a call and we can talk you through more of that in detail.
Great, and this is kind of related. How many blocks can be secured by a builder? Maybe one for Kathy.
No, just one block per registrant. So that's whether you're a builder, whether you're an applicant, doesn't matter who, it's one block per block section appointment.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. I'm getting a couple of comments here, questions about how to build an environmentally sustainable or environmental home. Dave, would you be able to give us some suggestions?
Look, probably the first thing you do is talk to a designer, an architect, draftsman, etc., or the builder. Some of the things to keep in mind, that is your orientation of the house, so and making sure that you've got as many windows facing north so you get natural lighting in, so you don't have to heat it, particularly in Canberra winter. Look at putting in solar panels, etc., environmentally friendly materials, so natural materials if you can. Limit the design so that you reduce your impact on the block, etc. But probably the easiest step is talk to a builder about what you can build there. What you'll find is, because all the blocks are different sizes and different shapes and different slopes, there's not a one house fits all, which is part of the beauty of Taylor. So you can design to suit, but you need to have a little bit of a think about what actually fits that block best, and particularly for your needs. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the blocks as well. Some people, their main design might be to have a really good view. That's great. Some people, say if you're in a wheelchair, the steep blocks at the top of the hill probably aren't the best suited for you. But certainly getting back to that design, talk to a builder designer about what's the most appropriate materials for using for that block.
Yeah, great. All right. A question from Deep asking on behalf of his friend. His friend lives in the New South Wales. Can he register for for the ballot?
Yeah, he can. Yep, anyone in Australia can register for the ballot. If he can't make it, then he would need to just complete an appointment of agent form and select someone to be there on his behalf.
Great. And Kathy, couldn't you walk the viewers a little bit more through the duplication registration? What constitutes a duplicate registrant?
Okay, so related parties. We do a related parties check when we receive all the registrants, and that will take a bit of time. So if you are a partner, that's a related party. If you are in a business and there's a few partners in that business, that's a related party as well. But if you want more information of what related party means, it's on the sales conditions, which is on the website. So I recommend to have a look at that, and it'll give you a really good indication of what that means and what we're referring to when we say related parties. It's really important not to register as a related party, because we will be contacting you, and if we need to, we will eliminate that related party out of the ballot.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that it's an equitable process for everyone, and everyone has an opportunity to register for the ballot the right way.
It's important to read the conditions.
Yeah, great. Thank you. A couple of viewers are asking if this webinar will be made available later for replay. Absolutely. This video will be put on YouTube. It'll be on our Facebook. We strongly encourage you to sign up for our Taylor mailing list. But since you're here, we will have your email address, and what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to email you a copy of this as well, so you can watch this a couple of times. All right. Colin's asking about the build and how soon you'll have to build after buying.
Well, all right, let's answer that one. So depending on the block that you purchase will depend on obviously your settlement date. So once you settle, whether it's 30 days or it could be in October, could be May, from your settlement date, you have 12 months to start construction. But if you can start sooner from your settlement date, great, get in and start. But you will have to go through a few processes to be able to start construction. Obviously getting your plans approved and things like that. But then you'll need to complete the construction within 24 months from settlement.
Okay, and where do people find out more information about building restrictions?
So you need to look at the building code, but give Cheryl or myself a call and we can direct you into the right place, so that's fine.
Great. All right. One last question, I think, from Amit. Amit is wondering whether they can do a soil test on the block prior to settlement. Probably one for you, Dave.
We generally don't allow that. The reason being is that we don't want people digging holes in the block of land, and if they decide they don't want it, then there's a hole. However, as part of the information that we provide, we've already done a site soil classification, which provides the classifications of the soil, so if it's a highly reactive clay or it's not a reactive clay, etc. And that's freely available on our website.
Great, fantastic. More questions around the ballot. There are a lot of people interested in finding information about it, which is great to see the interest. This one is with regards to appointments. Are appointments going to be made over the phone or in person?
For the ballot, they will actually be in person. So if you are successful, you'll be sent a block appointment time, and you would need to come in person and select your block.
Yeah, and of course, all of this is based on what's happening with COVID-19, because we want to make sure that the event is a safe event for everyone attending.
Yeah, correct.
So more information will be provided closer to the date. All registrants will be emailed the information. All right. right. I think we have one more question to answer. How will we know if our name has been picked? So maybe talk through the ballot draw date itself, what's going to happen, which parties are involved, and how people will be notified.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So what will happen is when everyone you register, we will then select 400, there'll be a random selection of 400 out of that, of everyone that has applied. Then once that's done, we do the related party checks, which will then identify, if there's any related party checks that we need to take out. Then from that, we will do a draw. So we will notify you, we'll contact each person via email and contact you and say whether you are still interested, ask whether you're still interested in progressing or going into the draw. And then we will, if you are, we'll put you into that draw and you'll be contacted if you're selected.
Yeah.
Basically.
And the draw will be witnessed by ACT Gambling and
That's
Racing
right.
as well.
Yeah.
And all registrants and successful registrants will be notified by email.
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
And all of this information, again, is provided in your sales pack. There are key dates and requirements as part of the documentation. So we strongly encourage you to read through the documents thoroughly. All right, I think that's all the time we have today for the questions. If you'd like to continue to ask questions, feel free to do so, or contact us at the Suburban Land Agency, or feel free to contact Cass and Cheryl over at Independent. Thank you so much for joining us for today's session. We really appreciate all this interest, and I wanted to just thank my wonderful panel of experts here for your great responses. Just as a reminder to everyone, we have a buyer's guide available online. This is just what a physical copy looks like. But you can find it on the Suburban Land Agency's website, and it'll just give you more information about how to buy, a little bit more information about building, some useful links and tips. So it's a great resource to check out. What we'll also recommend that you do is just give us a buzz if you need any more information. We'll be here to
Happy to help anytime.
Yeah. Recording of this session will be provided to you next week. So everyone watching here, you'll be able to play this again and get familiar with the process. And I think that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon.